everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Black-Liberation.Tech podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Renee Jordan, and today I'm going to do part 2 of lesson C 4.2, and it's entitled Taking One Step at a Time, Not Getting Overwhelmed. And so what I did previously, I went through the level 4 prompts. I'm going to say that you can choose to either do the level 4 prompts, the level 5 prompts for that lesson. You can do both of them. You can do one or the other. It's up to you. So what I'm going to do, since I was very thorough with the level 4 prompts, I'm going to move on with the rest of the lesson. So for those of you who are in my Patreon, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see where I am and where I'm picking up. So here we have the Black-Liberation.Tech website. I'm going to go ahead and head over to lessons. And then once I'm in lessons, I'm going to scroll down to C 4.2, taking one step at a time and staying persistent. And so I'm going to scroll on down. We already did the level 4 prompts where I wrote and reflected. So feel free to go back and check that out if you missed it. And so this is the part 1 that I've dropped in there for people who want to follow along with me as they fill it out. These are the level 5 prompts where you can write and reflect. So staying curious and never being afraid to grow, non-tech related prompts. And so those prompts are to help you to think about your experiences and what you enjoy doing and the things that you've done over time that allow you to take one step at a time in order to help you persist. And so since I did the level 4 prompts, I'm going to go ahead and go to the lesson 4 where it says taking one step at a time and staying persistent. The objective of this lesson is to help individuals focus on manageable steps to avoid feeling overwhelmed and learn the importance of persistence and growth. And so in the instructions, it says reflect and respond. And so these are essentially the short versions of the level 4 prompts and the level 5 prompts for someone who just wants to jump in at the lesson and start here. Once again, these lessons are adjustable, they're adaptable, they're flexible. So based on what you know about you and how much you want to answer, perhaps a certain set of questions resonates more with you. It's to give you some options to work with. But whatever you choose, you need to do some writing and reflecting in order to help develop a rich prompt for ChatGPT to work with, because ChatGPT will pull things from the internet and not know anything about you and just say here. Whereas if you provide some context and you will literally write, use the following as context and drop in the prompts, the questions that you've answered, as well as your responses to those questions in order to help develop a rich prompt that will be more tailored to you specifically and not just generic information pulled from the internet. All right, so step 1, reflect and respond using the prompts under taking one step at a time. Break down a big tech goal into smaller actionable steps. And so for that, I talked about how I have an open educational resource, and that is Black-Liberation.Tech. It's not only a website with lessons, it also includes social media. It also includes a podcast. Recall a time you persisted through a challenge and consider how that mindset could help you in tech. So the challenge that I addressed was the challenge of going through a PhD program, and the things that I did in order to persist included being an actively engaged PhD student. So I didn't just go to class, write a dissertation, and graduated, but I actually was very much so involved by serving as a graduate research assistant. I worked with my advisor for 3 years. The first year was curriculum development. The second year was the pilot year where we launched the program. And then the year after that, we scaled up and we had the program at more than one school. We scaled up to 8 to 9 schools. And I was actually at one location by myself, serving as the graduate research assistant for that school. And so I talked about how that could help me in tech in terms of being actively engaged by attending conferences, staying on top of what's the latest and greatest, and talking to the people about what it is that I'm doing in order to see how we can connect, as well as see what insight and feedback they can provide to me. Think of hobbies or personal growth journeys where you saw improvement over time. For this one, I talked about how I was a part of a choir and how we competed in a competition, the Verizon Wireless How Sweet the Sound choir competition, and we won the DC regional competition in 2011. And then we were up to participate in the national competition, and how we prepared for that by rehearsing regularly and including more and more vocal training that those who went to school for music and were a part of the choir shared with us in order to help us with our vocals, and how I also went to the gym, which helped me with my cardio, because with that song that was less than 4 minutes and 20 seconds, if not on the nose, there was choreography throughout. And so it was a very great time to engage, and those things allowed me to see growth in my vocal range as well as my cardio in terms of being able to have stamina. And that was one of the things that I talked about that's in the previous video that is addressing these questions here. So you can see by answering those level 4 and level 5 prompts, you're able to have responses that you can use by the time you get to step 1. And in case you did not do those, you can certainly answer these 3 here in order to help build a rich prompt for yourself. Okay, so step 2, generate ChatGPT prompts. Use your reflections to ask ChatGPT for advice. 1, how can I manage learning Python while working full-time? This is an example. You're going to fill in what you want to do. All right. 2, what's a simple step-by-step plan to transition from my current field to a data analyst role? Okay. So once again, that's a generic prompt. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take the level 4 prompts, the questions, and my responses, and I'm going to use that as context. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my Word document where I saved all that great information, and I'm going to copy it. Okay, so I've copied the information from my Word document. Now I'm going to head over to ChatGPT where I have a new conversation pulled up, and I'm going to paste the text from my Word document into ChatGPT. And so here I have the information from my Word document. I'm going to say, use the following as context. All right. And I'll just put quotation marks. So ChatGPT will say, oh, she's talking about all of this. Use all of this as context. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm jumping down to a new line, and I just hit shift and return or enter in order to get a new line without sending the response through. And I'm going to head back to the lesson. And so this one says, how can I manage learning Python while working a full-time job? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask, how can I learn how to create a no-code chatbot for my open educational resource, Black-Liberation.Tech, while working a full-time job? Note, provide examples of transferable skills from the context of my experiences that I've shared in the above information. All right. And so let's see what ChatGPT has to say. All right, so ChatGPT has given me some things to work with. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy and paste it over to my Word document so I can save this and go back to it later. So copy and paste what ChatGPT had to say. I also need to copy and paste this note here, this prompt, so that I can keep track of my prompts for myself. So yes, they're saved in ChatGPT, but I also want to save them for myself so that I can go back to them whenever I want in order to edit them, use them again, so forth and so on. All right, so let's take a look and see what ChatGPT had to say. Creating a no-code chatbot for your open educational resource, OER, while working a full-time job is achievable, especially when you leverage the transferable skills and strategies you've already demonstrated. Here's a step-by-step plan tailored to your experience and the context provided. Leverage your strengths in breaking down goals. Transferable skill. Your ability to break large goals into manageable steps is a key strength. Use the same approach to build your chatbot incrementally. Action plan. Step 1. Research and select a no-code chatbot platform. Example, ChatGPT plugins, ManyChat, ChatFuel, LandBot. Step 2. Identify a single chatbot functionality to start with. Example, FAQs, so frequently asked questions about academic and career coaching. Step 3. Use your podcast transcripts and website lessons to draft initial responses for the chatbot. Step 4. Test the chatbot in small groups, Black-Liberation.Tech community members. Step 5. Refine responses based on feedback before expanding its scope. Number 2, schedule and optimize time. Transferable skill. Your experience in pacing yourself and stockpiling content demonstrates excellent time management. Action plan. Dedicate specific times in your schedule to work on the chatbot, such as 30 to 60 minutes a few days a week. Use your established weekly website update routine to also incorporate chatbot building tasks. Automate tasks where possible. For example, using AI transcription tools to prepare chatbot data. Step 3. Use your strength in iterative work. Transferable skill. Your persistence and iterative work approach honed during your PhD journey aligns well with developing a chatbot. Action plan. Start with a basic chatbot that provides limited responses and expand its capabilities over time. Engage in continuous learning, using your chatbot as a sandbox to experiment with integrating AI tools. Draw on your talent for training and rephrasing. Transferable skill. Your strength in giving direct instructions and rephrasing information can enhance the chatbot's clarity and user friendliness. Action plan. Use your instructional skills to structure chatbot responses in clear, concise language. Test responses with users and refine based on their feedback to ensure clarity. Okay, step number 5, apply your resilience to setbacks. Transferable skill. Your resilience in overcoming setbacks, such as during choir competitions and directing youth, equips you to handle challenges in chatbot creation. Action plan. Accept that the first iteration of the chatbot might not be perfect and treat setbacks as learning opportunities. Keep showing up. Now, that's something that my mom would tell me, and that's something that was included in the context that I provided to ChatGPT. And if I didn't include it, it would not be there. So keep showing up, iterating and refining the chatbot, knowing it's part of the process. All right, step 6, infuse curiosity into learning. Transferable skill. Your curiosity about learning new tools and concepts demonstrated in your interest in AI and no-code platforms is a significant asset. Action plan. Start with free or low-cost tutorials on no-code platforms like YouTube, Udemy, or LinkedIn Learning. Experiment with chatbot building using pre-existing datasets like podcast transcripts, focusing on creating simple, functional prototypes. All right. Step 7, maximize engagement with communities. Transferable skill. Your ability to engage with communities, for example, presenting at conferences, moderating sessions, can help you gather ideas and refine your chatbot. Action plan. Join online forums or communities focused on no-code tools and chatbots to exchange knowledge and receive feedback. Host live sessions with your audience to demonstrate the chatbot's capabilities and gather real-time input. Step 8, incorporate redundant and creative tasks. Transferable skill. Your ability to balance creative work, podcast episodes, with repetitive tasks, editing videos, can streamline the chatbot building process. Action plan. Use creative energy to design the chatbot's personality and style of interaction. Dedicate low energy times to uploading, organizing, and structuring the chatbot's data. This is good information. Step 9, adopt a work in progress mindset. Transferable skill. Your approach to iterative OER development aligns perfectly with chatbot creation. Action plan. Release a beta version of the chatbot, communicating that it's a work in progress. Use feedback from early users to refine and expand its features. Step 10, celebrate wins and practice mindfulness. Transferable skill. Your mindfulness techniques for celebrating achievements and taking breaks will sustain your progress. Action plan. Celebrate each milestone. For example, launching the first version of the chatbot. Take breaks to reflect on how far you've come, reducing the risk of burnout. By integrating these strategies and leveraging your skills, you'll not only be successful in creating the chatbot, but also continue building your expertise in tech while managing your full-time job. That is good information. I'm glad that I tried it out for myself. And so now I have some support in terms of actionable steps that I can take in order to build out that chatbot using a no-code platform so that I can enrich my OER Black-Liberation.Tech. Okay, let's go to the second question, or I should say the second example. What's a simple step-by-step plan to transition from my current field to a data analyst role? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hop back over to my conversation and I'm going to use the first part of this, and I'll have to fill in some information. Because even if I said my current field to a data analyst role, if I have not mentioned in the conversation my current field, it's not going to know my current field. Because right now I'm talking about in terms of my open educational resource. I'm not talking about my actual full-time job. So I'm going to copy this information over. And the first thing I'm going to do is say, use the information in this conversation as context to help answer the following prompt. What's a simple step-by-step plan to transition from my current field? And I'm actually going to, since I mention a role, I'm going to talk about my current role. Associate Director. Okay, so it says, use the information in this conversation as context to help answer the following prompt. What's a simple step-by-step plan to transition from my current field? And so in parentheses, I put in my current role and the centers and organizations that I work with. And then the second part of this question, to a data analyst role, I'm not going to say a data analyst role. What I am going to do, I'm going to circle back to some of the results that I received from the career exploration lesson C 1.0 and the career navigation lesson C 1.1. And so those responses that I received from doing those, like the jobs that it recommended, I'm going to pull from those. I picked 3 and I'm going to select one to go to for this next step. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share those 3 roles that I'm going to pull from. So just so you can get an idea of what the results were. So in the first one, the career exploration, I had a recommendation of AI in music creation and production. Use AI to develop new music compositions, assist in audio editing, or implement machine learning tools to enhance vocal performances. So that's an option. Data visualization specialist. Why it fits. This was from lesson C 1.1. And so data visualization was one of the new additions to the list of different possible jobs that I could look at as it related to my specific interests. So data visualization specialist, why it fits. You enjoy organizing information and presenting it in compelling ways. Data visualization specialists use tools to transform complex data sets into visual stories, helping others understand and make decisions based on data. Potential applications, creating dashboards for nonprofits to track impact, or designing visual reports that make academic or community data accessible and actionable. That's great. Now, this last one, AI and machine learning enthusiast, why it fits. Given your interest in AI, you could explore roles related to developing AI driven tools that improve learning or increase productivity. Your background in education could provide unique insights into creating algorithms that cater to educational and creative needs. Potential projects: developing adaptive learning platforms that customize content for students or build productivity tools powered by AI. So, given the information that I included in my level 4 prompt responses and how I'm interested in developing a chatbot, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this third role as the one that I want to move towards. So I'm going to copy this information here. Now, keep in mind, these results are in separate conversations in my chat GPT. They're not in this new conversation. And so I need to bring it over into this conversation, just like I did my prompts and responses to the level 4 prompts, so that it is a part of the conversation. It's a part of what chat GPT will consider as it provides a plan, a step-by-step plan in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, go back to my chat GPT conversation. And so here we are. So I have used the information in this conversation as context to help answer the following prompt. What's a simple step-by-step plan to transform from my current field to and I'm going to hit paste, to an AI and machine learning enthusiast role? Here is some context as to why the new role. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put in parentheses the new role that I'm talking about. I'm going to put it in parentheses right there so there's no confusion as far as what I'm talking about. It's okay to be repetitive when you're putting in information with ChatGPT in order to be clear about what you're referring to, because what I find sometimes it will miss what you're talking about, and instead of answering it based on your intentions, just like people will do, it will answer based upon what it thought you were intending to talk about. And so I'm putting this information in parentheses so it is clear. The new role that I'm talking about is AI and machine learning enthusiast. Fits. And so I'm going to just change your to my, given my interest in AI. I could explore roles related to developing AI-driven tools that improve learning or increase productivity. My background in education could provide unique insights into creating algorithms that cater to educational and creative needs. And I'll just say, I'll leave this in place: potential projects, developing adaptive learning platforms that customize content for students, or building productivity tools powered by AI. So that's the role that I'm going to explore to see what steps could I take in order to get from where I am to a role like this. And I'm going to go ahead and submit it and see what ChatGPT comes up with. And before I do that, I'm going to copy this prompt so I have it, and paste it back in my Word document so that when I paste the response, I'll have that information as well. All right, so submit. Okay, so I'm going to take this, copy and paste this over into my Word document so that I can save it for myself. If you're working from your phone, copy and paste it into a note, email it to yourself, whatever you can get your hands on quickly so that you don't lose it, just in case, just because things change. Okay, so here we go. Here's a simple step-by-step plan to transition from your current role to becoming an AI and machine learning enthusiast, leveraging your existing skills, experiences, and interests. Step 1, define your niche in AI, why it fits. Your interest in education and creativity, paired with your background in broadening participation in computing, positions you to focus on AI applications in education and productivity. Action plan. Research existing AI tools in education, for example, adaptive learning platforms like Duolingo, Khan Academy. Identify gaps where your insights, culturally relevant content, or creative problem solving could make a difference. Okay, so that's good information. Next, define a clear focus area, such as adaptive learning systems or AI powered educational coaching tools. That's very much helpful. I think I would lean more towards the AI powered educational coaching tools since I'm specifically interested in academic and career coaching. Step 2, build a foundation in AI and machine learning. Why it fits. You have transferable skills in data driven decision making, operations, and program management, which align well with AI principles. Action plan. Start with free or low cost courses. Introduction to AI and machine learning. For example, they provide an example of a course on Coursera. AI for everyone, Coursera, to understand high level concepts. Focus on tools and platforms that require minimal coding, such as no code AI platforms. For example, Teachable Machine, and then they have another one, Pelterion. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what it says. Auto ML, or auto machine learning tools, for example, Google Cloud Auto Machine Learning, Auto ML. Practice building small projects such as using ChatGPT or GPT based APIs to create prototypes for educational tools. Step 3, leverage your current experience. Why it fits. Your experience with grants and broadening participation in computing gives you a unique perspective to exploring AI for inclusivity in education. Action plan. Align AI interests with your current projects. For example, propose a pilot project incorporating AI driven mentoring or tutoring for underrepresented students in computing. Use AI to streamline compliance or operational workflows in your current role to demonstrate its impact. Document these efforts as portfolio pieces to showcase your AI application skills. Step 4, expand your network. Why it fits. Your history of engaging in conferences, reviewing proposals, and moderating sessions shows you thrive in collaborative environments. Action plan. Join communities like Women in AI, AI for Education, or similar forums for professionals exploring AI in education. Attend webinars and conferences focused on AI in education and productivity. Collaborate with colleagues who have expertise in machine learning or data science to learn directly from them. Step 5, transition to hands-on AI projects. Why it fits. Your work on the OER chatbot shows your readiness to build and implement AI tools. Action plan. Build a functional prototype such as an adaptive learning chatbot for your open educational resource, leveraging your transcripts and lessons as training data. Experiment with AI tools like Hugging Face for fine-tuning models on educational data sets. Document your progress through blog posts or portfolio pieces showcasing the application and outcomes. Step 6, pursue relevant credentials. Why it fits. Earning certificates can validate your expertise and open doors to opportunities. Action plan. Obtain certifications in AI and machine learning, such as Google AI/machine learning certification, Microsoft AI Fundamentals, IBM Applied AI Professional Certificate. Highlight these certifications on LinkedIn and your resume. Step 7. Apply for AI-focused roles. Why it fits. Your operational and educational expertise make you a strong candidate for AI roles in education, technology, or productivity tools. Action plan. Start with roles that blend your background with AI, such as AI product manager or education technology specialist with AI focus. Tailor your resume to highlight relevant projects such as your OER chatbot or grant experiences. Emphasize data-driven decision-making and tech integration. Use your growing network to find opportunities in EdTech or AI-driven companies. Step 8. Stay persistent and curious. Why it fits. Your PhD journey and mindfulness practices demonstrate your ability to persist through challenges and stay grounded. Action plan. Dedicate consistent time each week to learning and experimenting with AI tools. Reflect on your progress and celebrate milestones to maintain motivation. Your unique edge. Your strengths in breaking down complex goals, iterative learning, and building inclusive educational tools position you to succeed in this transition. By starting with small projects aligned to your current expertise and gradually expanding your knowledge, you can transition into an AI and machine learning enthusiast role seamlessly. So that's what ChatGPT had to say about my request for step-by-step actions that I can take in order to transition from my current role into an AI and machine learning enthusiast role. I hope that you can see how you can take information, plug it into those level 4 or level 5 prompts, or even jump to step 1 in lesson 4 in order to get a rich response from ChatGPT that's based upon your expertise, your interests, your hobbies, things that matter to you, so that it's taken into consideration when you have a conversation with ChatGPT in order to find out how you can get from one place to another and pick and choose what fits for you. For me, I have a PhD. I'm done. No more certificates, no more classes, none of that. I will do informal learning. I will do YouTube University. I'll take a look at the free stuff and see what applies. If I didn't have so much education, I might sign up for a certificate or something more formal where you have to pass, fail, so forth and so on. My pass, fail now is, am I able to complete the task? If I don't complete it successfully, what can I do in order to take corrective actions so that I have the outcomes that I want? So for me, because of where I am in my educational journey in terms of having a terminal degree, meaning I am finished, I am done. Hello, I am tired of being graded. Life will grade me and I will respond accordingly. That's where I am. But for those of you who have more steam in you and are willing to be graded and get certificates and additional degrees, go for it. Sometimes you just need to know how to do this. And if you can do that, then you have achieved your goal. So I say all that to say ChatGPT can give you information. It can give you recommendations. That does not mean it's the beginning and the end or the only options there are out there. It's just to help you to think about what you can do next. And so that's really what these lessons are about. They do serve a dual purpose. I mentioned them before. It's not only here to help you explore careers and things of that nature, but by going through the activities and developing rich prompts for ChatGPT to consider, I want you to think about, how can I use this tool to help me in terms of planning for other things, in terms of streamlining other things, in order to help me get to where I want to go and at a faster pace than I would have if I were just doing it on my own or by myself. See how you can use ChatGPT as an assistant in order to move your progress at a faster pace or a faster rate, or in order to help you get out of that, let's say, writer's block in terms of generating ideas to think about to help you move forward with whatever it is that you're working towards. With all that being said, I want to thank you for once again joining me for another episode of the Black-Liberation.Tech podcast. I am your host, Dr. Renee Jordan. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share, rate, and review the podcast to help it to become more discoverable. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.